ADOC's Color Mission was a limited run film released in 2022. The official story is that ADOC's working with a company to bring new color film to market, however that company went bust, leaving ADOC with the first and last batch of film. To further fund R&D, ADOC sold off that batch of film under the name Color Mission 200. The origins of this film have been left as a bit of a mystery, with some Reddit users claiming that it's pre-spooled Accreditation, and others claiming that it was created by Innovis Code, who supposedly produced Accreditation under the new name Orwell, also known as Original Wolfson. Either way, 3 years later, ADOC has yet to release the color film to market, and in the meantime Color Mission 200 quickly went out of stock, but not before I picked up a single roll of film. This is the quintessential episode of my last roll, because not only it is my last roll, it could also be the last roll remaining in the world, as there was only one eBay listing recently, and that's since been sold. So as a show of my shots, let me walk you through my recent trip. Fortunately, I had some personal matters to attend to in London, so that gave me the perfect opportunity to take this film out for a spin. On my way to a Mackey's by a bus stop for the bus I needed to take, I found these lovely office buildings. The architecture gave me a little bit of a Mirror's Edge vibe. I like how in this shot, the sun was shining down the roof decoration, creating these lovely streaks of light. And I loved how reflective this building was, and this little side entrance that felt a bit unworldly. The pictures came out perfect here. I really like the deep contrast with the bright, unnatural greens. The highlights seemed to sway to the warmer side, and the shadows seemed to have magenta in them. Anyway, I got my food and my bus. The weather in London was in the low 30s, officially a heat wave, and with the BYD bus having absolutely zero air conditioning, and the ride being around 30 to 40 minutes, I was not having a good time. Eventually, I got to Hampstead Heath, and my goal was simple: take 33 frames without dying from a heat stroke. I still had 14 frames remaining when I finished. Let me talk you through these pictures. The first one is genuinely perfect. The deep shadows, the surprisingly natural greens and blues, while still having a look at the image that makes it obvious that it was shot on film. Once I start getting to the foresty areas, where there's a lot of dynamic range, I was not very impressed. Whether that's due to the lab scan, or possibly my light meter failing, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that this is quite a cold film stock. Despite the warm highlights, the images hide how bright, sunny, warm and vibrant the day was. But hiding away from the light, again, you can see some really nice contrasty shots. And that little bit of warmth in the highlights can really push the photos creatively. Of course, since it's the theme of the show, I also took my Sony to emulate some of these images, although in hindsight I kind of wish I shot more digitally now, but between the faff of switching cameras and not wanting to take away from the experience of shooting on film, I only took a handful of shots. So here's my emulation of the Color Mission images. With 14 frames remaining, I went down to Digbeth in Birmingham to finish off the roll. It's always nice to go down there, since every time I visit, something has changed. This time round, the rolls I took, I don't remember taking before, and managed to get through my 14 frames and get back to the station in time for my train within 25 minutes. Job's a good one. These were shot in a partly cloudy light as opposed to the fully sunny day, and the film has developed a completely different characteristic. Deeper contrast, more magenta in the darker parts of the images, and decently punchy colours considering the conditions. The film seems to turn reds into more of an orangey pinkish shade, and these reds are very pronounced. So, what has this exercise taught me? Well, I did not know about Orwell, and they seem to be the only company left outside of Kodak who produce colour film. Although Harman has now entered the game, and of course I did also try out Phoenix 200 recently. I only learned about Orwell during the research of this video, so now definitely have to check out their film. In fact, apparently even own one of their respooled NC500 films, so that's neat. If you'd like to see a video on the Lisboa or the Phoenix, let me know. But otherwise, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.